Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good
Good
luck.
luck.
Can you do
Dude.
that turn one,
Good luck,
2, and
everybody.
3?
Be careful.
Tell me to do that.
That's so cool.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry, man.
You have to give back the place.
Oh, bollocks, sorry. Damn it. Oh, it's a good race in there.
User disconnected from your channel.
Thanks, Isaac.
No worries. Good luck, I can't pay off.
User disconnected from your channel.
Cheers, dude. Thanks, Isaac.
No worries. I wasn't paying attention. But now it feels like my car's not even running.
Oh. Thank you, Isaac.
No worries. Yeah, my tires are gone, man. I'm gonna pit.
I've got my tyre pressures all wrong.
I left the mediums on. I wasn't paying attention to you guys. I meant to go hard. It feels like I'm driving too far.
What an
Sorry,
idiot.
man.
What an idiot.
Why'd you go back in the pits?
User disconnected from your channel.
My tires are messed up. I need to get new ones.
Yeah, I did a tiny little mistake. Forgot to choose the tires for the preset.
Oh.
Anyone have any idea how can I change tires?
You'll have to pit.
But I don't have tire change in the preset, so
You have to do it manually
even
with the
pit
keyboard.
config. Oh, I cannot see any menu when I pit.
It should pop up as soon as you hit the pit lane. Thank you.
Okay.
And you
So
have
that
to
should
be quick
be
with
pretty-
the down arrows on the keyboard to select your tyres. It'll by default it'll be no change, but you could leave it at that.
Finding the right buttons will be really easy because I'm wearing Oculus.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm wearing Oculus as well. The pit thing appears on my right hand side. But my pressures are wrong.
That was a great move, Memphis.
Thanks, Isaac.
No worries.
You're too nice.
Yeah. Actually, one.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't get it.
I feel like I'm more of a hindrance to everybody.
Ah, no, it's just, is this your first race, or?
First PCM.
Ah, okay.
I normally.
Normally what, sorry?
On the Audi TT Cup.
Ah, okay. These things are a lot more slip sideways than the TT car, I think.
Oh yeah, it's like all over the place.
Yeah, and the brakes aren't as good.
No. I really like the regular top listeners. But I do get Formula One.
Yeah, I'm coming up to you now, Isaac.
Roger.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, buddy. You didn't have to do that quite so much, but cheers.
Oh, sorry there. I didn't know you were coming.
Come on.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I touched. Bollocks. I locked up.
Oh no! Oh, come on. That didn't warrant that. It's ridiculous. These cars are fucking stupid.
What's happened?
Nothing, it just... I slightly span and it just went sideways at 200 miles an hour. Cost me second place. Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I bet.
I just came out of nowhere.
Oh, come on, car.
Anyone low on fuel? I still have 50 liters left.
I'm not sure I'm going to finish the race.
3.5.
We've got 3 litres left. Last lap to go.
I got 20.
Oh, that was it? Oh.
I had 20.
Well, that was fucking shit. Frankly. Well done, Ronnie. You were waiting for that all the time you were behind me,
Oh, good move.
and I just switched off for a fucking millisecond.
Nice one, Steve.
Game over.
Good race. My tyres were gone at the end.
Well done, Taryn.
Oh God. I messed up with the pressures. I've been locking up this whole race.
Bye all.
User disconnected from your
Right.
channel.
That was enjoyable. That was my first whole race in an Oculus Rift. I love that. That was great.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah,
See you later,
Stevie,
everybody.
I can't believe you got me on that last corner.
I only, out of 68 liters, I only used 45. Guess I'm
User
really good with
disconnected
fuel
from your
management.
channel.
Magnus, that move that you put on me when I made the mistake into Maggots and Beckett's was ridiculous.
User disconnected from
Yeah.
your channel. User disconnected from your channel. User disconnected from
Yeah,
your
for
channel.
sure. Yeah, by that point my tyres were really starting to go off. I was really annoyed. I was in third and I spun out driving like an idiot.
User disconnected
then-
from your channel.
Yeah, I had 1-2, so... Or was it 2-1? Whichever way around.
Yeah, all right, Mercedes top 2. Awesome. All right, gentlemen, thanks for the race. I'll see you next time I have a day off.
Good racing,
Yes,
Isaac.
yeah.
Yeah,
User disconnected from your channel.
thank you. Yeah, it was at the start of the race there. I just thought there was no way I was gonna catch up with Ville, and because I was looking at, I have like the real time app, and I saw the lap times. I was like 2:17.3.2, and I was like, the best I can do here is a high 2:17 or a low 2:18. But then noticed using the medium tires, and I did say a good while ago, the mediums won't last, you know. So definitely hard tires with the DTM cars, definitely. So
Yeah, I was being ambitious based on my experience last race. I was thinking,
I don't-
oh, if I can
I
make the
don't-
softs last, then I can make the mediums.
I don't think so. Mediums would have been perfect choice. If you take a look how much I lost in the pit stops, and I didn't even change the tires. I went the whole race with the mediums.
Where were you when you pitted? Because you ended up about 5 seconds ahead of me, and I stayed on mediums whole race.
Yeah, and I pitted twice, and I had
Oh,
still
wow,
50
okay.
liters left fuel.
yeah, but the tires are good at the start, but you know, once they start going yellow, and I'm sure the mediums would go red by the end of the race, you lose so much time. Like
Yeah, I was on all red.
definitely. So
Yeah, but I lost something like 40 seconds, and
yeah,
I lost plus 20 seconds per pit stop. So
yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, rub salt on the wound, but it cost you a podium, you see, you know. So the pit stop, no one else pitted, so everyone else. So even if your overall speed before the pit stop is quicker than everyone else, you still have to make a pit stop where everyone else doesn't, you know. So you lose 20 seconds that
yeah,
you don't need to lose. So
yeah, but my pace should have been enough.
uh, maybe, yeah, maybe, perhaps. But I mean,
Easily.
I did immediately think, oh, hang on a minute, the mediums rather, are probably not the tire to be on when I was attacking you, Tariq, on the first lap. I was thinking, this is not right. There's something deeply wrong here. Yeah. Poor decisions.
But I think, I don't know, personally, I think it's, if you can go without a pit stop, it's better. I mean, and the difference in pace, I think, between the softs and medium and hard, or the medium and hard, isn't that very, it's not very big. And I was probably not driving the best in that race. I probably could go a bit quicker with a bit of practice. So, you know, I think, I don't know, but I don't see a pit stop being logical at all in the race. But different strokes for different folks, as they say.
Yeah, that was my first race with the car.
But yeah, what happened, Joseph? I saw you got the jump on James there at the start. You were battling with him a bit, and then what
Yeah.
happened?
So going into Stowe, I changed down into third like an idiot, and just got massive oversteer and spun it, and then I was down into fifth. Once pit stops happened, I was up into fourth, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can keep it. But Magnus was all over me, and he was on the hards, so by the end of the race, he was way faster than me. And then on the last corner, on the last corner, Stevie overtook me,
Oh
He'd
man.
been right behind me for, I don't know, 10 laps or something like that,
Right.
and he just managed. Oh, I was gutted.
Yeah, that's a real bummer. That yeah, I just hate. Yeah, it's so annoying. Just you know, you get so it's like just a little bit more, and yeah.
Yeah, it was like my rear tires had been fine for most of the race, and just on the last 2 laps maybe that was when I was actually starting to struggle with traction in sector 3. So
Right.
it was, yeah, good race though. I think if I'd been on hards and therefore not been overly ambitious on lap 1, thinking, oh, I've got the pace, I can keep going, I might have got 4th.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure, you know, the fact that they were struggling towards the end of the race, like, you know, the tires, if you had the hards, yeah, they would have held on a bit more. Because, I mean, throughout that whole race, I didn't have to ease off or go any slower. And, like, I think my last couple of laps were nearly my fastest laps in the race. So yeah, definitely go hard sometimes.
It's a learning experience. The shame as well, because I'm actually quite fast on Silverstone, so it's going to be a while until we get D2M cars at Silverstone.
I wonder actually though if there's like a version of Silverstone, you know, not the very old layout, because we have the very old layout, the 67 one, but I mean the one just before this one. You know?
Oh, with the old text spray.
Yeah. Stuff like, you know, it had Abbey chicane, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I prefer that layout to this one actually. Like I feel it kind of ruined it a bit with the new one, like with all the new section, the stadium section. Like, I'm not a big fan of it personally, so.
I like the new one a lot more.
I like some of the changes that they made, but it's those last few corners that are just horrendous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last few corners are actually, if you think about it, they were still that's part of the old circuit still, but.
But they're slower than they were before, and they're tighter, and they've added giant sausage curbs.
Are they? Is Vale and Club slower?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I suppose yeah, because it tightens up a bit.
Because it used to be
Club.
a wiggle, and now it's a full-on, basically, like, stop, turn 90 degrees, stop, turn 90 degrees.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Is it, I wonder though, like, in terms of like the real circuit, is it actually possible to drive the old layout still, or is it like all that's gone now, kind of been filled with grass and stuff, or what?
I suspect most of it's gone.
Oh man. It's a shame.
Well, I'm gonna be there in a couple of weeks.
Oh, cool. Nice. But what you gonna, what F1? Is it? No, it's not the F1 now.
On the student.
Oh, cool.
Friends with us on the student team, so maybe down there we can.
Nice. Cool. That'll be good fun.
Yes, I'll go investigate.
Are they using the Stowe circuit? I guess nothing to do with the Grand Prix circuit, I guess. Yeah.
No, they don't. I think they actually make their own little circuit in the car park. That's what they were saying before, because it's not. They don't do a race. They do basically different tests. But like they set up a little acceleration and braking test. They set up a little really tight autocross circuit.
Yeah. That's cool, yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's something I'm kind of quite pleased about, because like I think there's an Egyptian team racing there as well. But which I'm kind of happy about, because like I'm I'm half Egyptian, half Irish, so you know, because Egypt when it comes to motorsport is like there's nothing proper at all. So to see that, it's like, wow, you guys are, yes, you know, there's some progress. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good thing, but there still does tend to be a bit of a skew towards money. So my friends are at De Montfort in Leicester, and they usually do fairly well in terms of how well they place compared to their budget. But there's a team from Stuttgart who,
Right.
yeah, they get serious backing, and so they turn up with like electric cars that will do 0 to 60 in 1.3 seconds. And they've got these giant wings on them. You know the Assetto Corsa mod for the Formula Student car? That is based on a previous year of one of the German teams.
Right.
And all that aero that's on that car is all paid for by either Volkswagen or Mercedes or something.
That's a bit unfair. I mean, like, do they not have some sort of way of saying this is your, you know, like budget caps, things like that?
No, it's all just the spec of the car. So you're not allowed, you know, over a certain displacement, and you're not allowed, you know, the dimensions of the car are very restricted. But other than that, basically, you can do what you want. I mean, the point is that it's a university thing, so it's all about the kids like learning.
Yeah.
So I suppose limiting them too much might not be great, but yeah, in terms of competition, it's not exactly fair.
No, I mean, like yeah, if you're talking, like, there's that team, you know, I mean, well, first of all, there's Stuttgart, so that's like, yeah, right next door to Porsche and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, and then like, yeah, like the aero is provided by like VW or whatever. I mean, that's kind of.
Well, it's not provided, but they get things like wind tunnel time and such.
Yeah, that's just
I mean,
ridiculous.
It's great for those kids though, because those kids are, you know, they're learning proper motorsport stuff. But yeah, for the competition. Ugh. So basically, when these guys inevitably come, I don't know, like 20th or something, they're not going to feel too bad about it. Yeah, when you know they lose to the University of Stuttgart and the University of Maranello or something, I don't think they're going to feel too bad.
Yeah, you find I don't know, you find like Stefano Domenicali just kind of sneaking past there, just wearing a hoodie. He's like, yes, it's the car is good, yeah. And then he just walks off again.
Yeah, the driver walks into this trailer and comes back out suspiciously the same dimensions as Fernando Alonso.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great race though. Qualifying was probably the best qualifying that I've done. I actually managed to put that together rather than having, you know, a theoretical time based on my sectors about 2 seconds faster than my actual time. And I didn't beat my qualifying time in the race, which is another good sign.
Yeah, you seemed you seemed a lot quicker today, definitely.
Yeah, were you on 40? Was it? Wait, what was the lap times again? Were you on a 1:46? Was it 40?
No, it was 2 minutes 17, 18.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, were you on a 2 minutes 16 in qualifying?
Yeah, I definitely think actually my last lap would have been a 2:16. I'm not sure if it would have gotten me pole, you know, but I could have. It was definitely a 2:16 because I had a massive slide going into Brooklands, the first Brooklands corner. So like I had a massive oversteer moment there, and I mean it was a bit of a gamble. I kind of thought, you know, like I jumped from. Like usually when I'm going hard, I'm using a shifter, so I jump from 6th to 3rd, and I braked a little bit too late, I think. So then the car just I missed the apex big time and went in a huge slide. So I was actually surprised I qualified even second because I thought I was slower than James as well, but I was pleasantly surprised 2:17.0. So
I was doing 2:16.2, but someone just spun right in front of me in the last chicane, and I lost the second there. And then my pole lap wasn't really good because after that I changed into my race setup and did 2:16.5 with the race setup, so
yeah.
it wasn't really good.
Yeah, I was consistently 2 seconds slower than whoever was on top at any moment. As soon as pole changed to somebody new because somebody had done a bad time, I improved and I was still 2 seconds slower.
Well, yeah, I think there was a bit of a jump towards the end. Like the times seemed fairly close, and then there's I think a couple of guys just went really hard towards the end. So I know
there was a crazy jump in the lap times on the grid though, because I was in fourth. I qualified fourth. We were 2:18 rather. 2, I think, or 1.
Yeah.
And then Paul was a 2:16.
Yeah.
And I think you run out 2:17.0 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a massive jump, and then a couple of places behind me there was another big jump. I don't know. Another stupid thing was I was slightly struggling on the hanger straight because I'd set my gear ratios perfectly for qualifying, but of course I've lost some RPM in the race because I've turned the engine down. So I was just hitting the limit at the end of the straight, and when Magnus, for example, was in the slipstream, that was just enough for him to creep up behind me. Yeah, I was on 100. So I had to drive off some of those slower corners, which is probably why it took you so long to get past me. Otherwise, you would have got past me way earlier. Yeah.
I think actually really, you guys should, if you're driving the Alpha, you should really bump up the limiter to maximum because you're yeah. I mean that's when I was driving it. I used to do that. You just have to be a bit careful on the downshifts, not to over rev, and obviously not hit the limiter on the upshifts as much as you can. So. Oh. But yeah, it's just because if you have it running at 100, I think you're just losing power or overall power, because it can rev a bit higher, so you get and it's safe. I mean, it's not like running a heavily turbocharged car running at full boost, because that won't last. But with the Alpha, you can bump up the limiter. Just don't downshift too quick, and obviously don't hit the limiter on the upshifts if you can.
Yeah, and you have to get rid of the rear wing.
Yeah. Yeah, I took amble at the end or just before the race started. I was like, yeah, I'll run 0 at the back. So I was running 2 at the front and 0 wing at the back, and it helped. Yeah, it worked out okay. I was a bit worried in the fast corners, but it worked out okay.
I was running 1 at the front and 2 at the back.
I was running 3 in front and 0 at back, and I've increased camber in front.
Yeah, I did make a few camber adjustments early on, and then I didn't touch afterwards, so that might have helped, but I'm not actually sure whether it did anything.
I pretty much did everything I can to kill the understeer.
Yeah, the Alpha. Well, yeah, it's 4-wheel drive as well, so it doesn't bite as well as the other two.
Yeah, it's kind of safe to make it
Yeah.
oversteering.
I found actually, it's really funny, but like when driving the Alpha, I kind of drive it as I would kind of the rally cars and stuff. Like, you know, it's the same kind of slight skidding in the slower corners and stuff, and it's good fun that way. It kind of reminds me of a rally car. So
It is great.
Yeah, it's surprisingly funny car to try.
Yeah.
Were you in the Mercedes race?
Yeah, I drove the Mercedes in that race. Yeah. It's a lot. It feels a lot softer than the other two because I drove all three. Like, I think the stiffest of the three is probably the BMW. The BMW feels very hard and kind of. Yeah, it's very responsive, which is a good thing about it. I think it's the lightest of the three as well. So yeah, so it probably can corner quite well, and just the Mercedes, yeah, it feels like a big wallowy thing, you know, compared to the other two. But I think, like, potentially, you know, from in terms of like overall consistency and speed, like I think the Mercedes could be potentially the quickest of the three in a race, because it is very stable, and that's a very big thing about it. So. But in terms of raw speed, I'm not sure. Like over one lap, the other two might have the edge on it. So
I'd like to try the Merc, but I just can't stand the engine sound. It's so thin.
yeah. Yeah, I think personally for me, I'd say out of the three, I think the BMW sounds the best to me. Or actually, it's hard. It's hard. It's between, I don't know. They both sound very good, the Alpha and the BMW. So
At least a lot better than the Merc.
yes, I won't dispute that. Yeah. But yeah, just having a look, if you go like to that sim results page and then you go qualify the tab and then qualify laps, it can actually show you what was your potentially best time. So yeah, according to the thing, if I strung my best sectors together, I would have got a 2:16.505, which would have gotten me pole. But yeah, ah well.
Yeah, I would have got a 2:18.4, so as I said, 2 seconds slower.
But the good thing though is that like your best time is only 0.2 off your potential best, which is very good. You know, you're kind of you know, very like that shows very good consistency and kind of neatness in your driving. So
Yeah, the last lap was a little bit scrappy. The first one I think was about a lap. It was just I wasn't as brave on the brakes in a couple of places.
right.
Yeah, I did a 2:18.7 and then I did a 2:18.6. And 6 was fastest first set, but it was actually slower in the second and third. It was all.
Yeah.
3:20 seconds in first section, and then lost it throughout the rest of the lap. It was all coming down, hanging straight into whatever that corner is. On the brakes there, I
Stone.
a lot of time. No, sorry, not the hanging straight, the other straight, the first one.
Oh, right. You mean the fast right corner or the slow tight right with turn 3?
No, so right. going in. Wait, let me count. Going into turn 6, the end of the straight,
Oh yeah,
on the brakes there.
yeah. That's where I totally hacked it up on my last lap as well. Like just it's a bit of an awkward corner.
Yeah, because you're on the brakes while turning.
Yeah. Well, I was experimenting there in the race, kind of playing with the brake bias a bit because I could, I could tell when the ABS was kicking in because the car does this kind of jumping thing,
Yeah.
And so I just said, okay, bring the ABS back. That's probably the front's locking, So I kept bringing it back and I brought it back. And by the end of the race, like I think I'd started with like 75% bias, and by the end of the race, I was running 68.
Yeah, I was on 68 the whole time. That was how I was getting the best brake. Wow.
56. Wow. You probably don't need the brakes. You just need a handbrake, Magnus. I think at that kind of bias. So just go into the corner, pull the handbrake, and pull it in, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, the two of us had completely different minds through a lot of the corners, Magnus. And that's probably partly brake balance.
Well, I mean, my sort of approach, I think, really is just going into the hardest braking zone. You should always kind of have the brakes set up to a bias, sort of like, so that just as you're turning in, either the inside wheel is lightly locking or preferably not locking at all, because then
Just
because
the rotation.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Because oh, okay.
Maybe I'll have to be a bit more adventurous with the brake bias then. Yeah, no, like the fastest way that I found some of the slower corners were anchor on the brakes, lift off a little bit, but just towards the end let the front inside just lock a little bit just to rotate the car slightly.
Yeah. But like the thing, but Magnus, I mean, with running 56% bias, I'm sure you have to brake a bit earlier than most guys, I would say, with that kind of bias. What, Josephine? Yeah.
Into Stowe, you were definitely braking before me then, because yeah, end of the hanger straight, the medium speed right hander after Maggots and Beckett's.
Like there's the S curves, and then after the S curves, there's a long straight, and then a medium speed right corner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's off camber and understeering and terrible. I hate that corner.
It's really good fun.
That's where I always end up either drifting around it or completely spinning.
You have to brake early and be on the throttle through the corner.
Yeah. It's just so unnatural.
Yeah, but it's great fun.
When you get it right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of corner where you can measure your car's balance.
Yeah.
Just like the turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, turn 1 was basically how I was measuring my tyre wear. Was how slow I had to go through turn 1. By the end, very.
surprised though Joff wasn't on tonight, because he usually does the DTM races, I think. So
Yeah, I was wondering whether there'd be a rematch between the two of them. Which, to be honest, seems to be every race that the two of you are in. It's just a showdown
Yeah.
between you two.
yeah, it gets very. And Giuseppe's actually very quick in the DTM cars as well. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think. Were you around for the multi-class race or last Saturday?
I was.
Yeah.
But then I got DQ'd because I picked it too early.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, because so when I saw pit window, I was like, oh, okay, so that's recommended pit window. That's when I should be pitting.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise that you had to pit then.
Yeah, it
seems
yeah.
silly to me, but I think I'm a bit biased there. Because I'd actually like so basically early on I messed up completely, and so I was down near the back of the field. So I pitted fairly early to get onto a new set of tyres to win to the end of the race, and I actually picked up some positions doing that. I had so much clean air, but of course got disqualified 20 minutes before the end of the race.
Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't really get the idea behind having a window, just a pit window. Just like you could make it just mandatory pit, but whenever kind of thing is probably just the better way.
It's just a service aid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's partly, or not partly, but it's all to do with the whole the way they do it in the real thing. You know, in the real thing, they have a pit window as well. So.
Do they?
Yeah, and they have the driver change.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think over an hour race, though, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, it's a sprint race, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that was the day when I was running on 0 sleep.
Yeah.
That was probably why I made so many mistakes early on. And also probably why I didn't ask whether you had to pit in the pit window.
Right. Yeah, I mean something. I'm not sure how people are for time and stuff, because I know some people are very tight. Have can only race for so long because of responsibilities or whatever. But it'd be good maybe if possible, kind of at the if it's a weekend race or something, if at all possible, it'd be cool if they kind of introduced proper, I don't know, 2-hour races, kind of like F1 style, because it would make it interesting from a strategy point of view, because when you're watching races, some guys say, okay, I'll do 1 pit stop. Some guy might say, no, I'll do 2 pit stops, softer tire compounds, and it kind of makes it a bit more interesting than, it's like who has the better strategy kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.